So the next part of our module is about inflationary gap. Okay, so an inflationary gap is a macroeconomic concept that measures the difference between the current level of our GDP and the GDP that would exist if an economy was at full employment. Okay, operating at full employment. So the inflationary gap exists when the demand for goods and services exceeds production due to the factors such as higher level of overall employment, increased trade activities, or elevated government expenditures. So this is another form of inflationary gap. So against this backdrop, the real GDP can exceed the potential GDP, which will then result into inflationary gap. So this inflationary gap is named because the relative rise in the GDP causes an economy to also increase its consumption, leading to higher prices. Okay, so inflationary gap represents the point also in the business cycle when the economy is expanding. Okay, so due to the higher number of funds available within the economy, consumers are more inclined to purchase goods and services, but then again, our supply is not enough to meet those demands. So therefore, the effect is to increase the prices. So as the demand for goods and services increase, but production has not yet compensated for such shift. So as mentioned, the prices will rise to restore the market to equilibrium. So here, when the potential GDP is higher than the real GDP, so the gap is instead referred to as deflationary gap. So this is the opposite. Okay, so the other type of output gap is recessionary gap. So this is an economy operating below its full employment. This is the opposite, okay, of inflationary gap. Okay, so this is all, okay, for this topic.